Hey, I'm here with Caleb Crider. We got together for the church As Missionary conference with a few pastors in St. Louis. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to meet Caleb before he comes here in a couple of weeks. So Caleb, would you tell us just a little bit about you and Lindsey and your family?
My name is Caleb Crider, and my wife Lindsey and I, we live in Portland right now, but we serve with the International Mission Board, planting churches in Barcelona, Spain. We were in Spain about 6 years, and have recently come back to the States to talk with churches about new ideas to get involved in missions. So we're excited to interact with Todd and with Snow Hill and try to get to know you and see how you are uniquely gifted to be on mission. And it's exciting to see churches involved and excited about it. So we're happy to be here. We're good.
Well, Caleb, maybe one thing that kind of helped us is why do you think it's important for churches to think about themselves as a missionary or to be a missionary? What would be the one or maybe two things you'd say about that?
I think Southern Baptists have been good about connecting for mission. I mean, that's always been the source, the beginning of the foundation of our cooperation, of who we are, identity. But the problem is sometimes we make a distinction between professional missionaries, and I was one, and am one, and lay people in the church. And I think that that separation, that distinction really hurts us on both sides. Because what it does is it means the church maybe doesn't think like a missionary when it should. The commission was given to the church. And on the other hand, you have missionaries who see themselves as sort of lone rangers. And we realized after years on the field, we can't be without the church. And so we need each other. It's a mutual relationship. And to divorce the two or to separate the two is really, it's dangerous on both sides.
Great. Well, Caleb, I want to give you an opportunity just to note maybe a couple of themes or things that we might be talking about here in a couple of weeks.
We want to talk a little bit about how people organize themselves. The idea, it's foundational to missional thinking, and that is that people there's a social structure. And a lot of times when we come into it, we would talk about bringing the gospel to a people. It's not just bringing the gospel to individuals, but bringing it to a society or a social network. And so if we can look a little bit about how do people interact, and we call them tribes. You know, you think of tribes in the third world, but essentially people move in tribes. And in Oklahoma, there are tribes, there are cultures and subcultures, and each speaks its own language, has its own unique traditions. And if we can kind of learn to look at that and learn about how maybe that works, you can see there's a lot of opportunity to share the gospel effectively into a tribe and among tribes. So we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Fantastic.
Another thing that I'm really excited about is this idea, this concept of person of peace. You know, in Luke chapter 10, Jesus sent out 70 disciples to go and witness, go and share their faith. And he gave them some minimal instruction, and they went. And one of the things that he said was, you need to go and speak peace to people. And we've looked at that and said, look, maybe there's not a model, but maybe there's some principles for how we can engage people with the gospel. And looking for a person of peace, that's a person who God is moving, supernaturally as he does, on somebody's heart, and they respond in such a way that really opens the door for the gospel to move into a place. And so just talk with you about some real practical ways to identify the persons of peace, the people of peace, and how sometimes missions is an overwhelming thing, but if you start small and you think, this is who God's made me to be, and God can use that to influence somebody else, and then through that he can do what he does. It's empowering, and I think that it's encouraging and it's exciting.
Well, we're excited to have you. We're looking forward to seeing you and Lindsey, and I hope you'll mark the dates. January 31st, February 1st and 2nd, so kind of last weekend of January, first weekend in February. We're going to spend a few days together talking about these themes and a number of others, and so we hope you will plan to be there. Thanks.